Hello and welcome to Sports Quotes and Facts Untold. Today I'm joined by Harry Cooksley, who is a midfielder for Farnham Town, who play in the ninth tier. Now, you might not have heard of them, but they're on the cusp of making British football history. Already this season, they've won 21 straight games and one more win at the weekend against Cobham, and they can make it 22, which no team has done before. Firstly, Harry, thanks for joining us. And what's that win and feeling been like?
Yeah, great to speak again, Owen. I think just for me, like any other player, it's the best feeling I think in the game. You play the sport to obviously enjoy it, but to win games of football, and yeah, we're on a decent run at the moment.
Yeah. So obviously it's AFC Wimbledon who've got that record of 21 straight wins that was recorded about 20 years ago when they started again, essentially in non-league. What would it mean for you guys to break that record and have your name there in the record books?
I mean, it's history. That will live with us as players and obviously staff as long as we're here, and hopefully longer until someone else breaks it. But I think obviously we've had one eye on it now for probably a month or so, as we knew we were getting closer. But I thought it was, obviously I knew it was Wimbledon, and I used to play there, obviously not at the time they got the record, but I think it's actually the same league that we're in now as well, because like you say, it's when they reformed, and we're sort of flying back up the league. So yeah, it's the same league. I thought it had been like they'd done it in League Two, or I don't know, the conference or something. But yeah, for obviously to be the same league and be so close to breaking the record, I think it's nothing that any of us ever expected for the season. We all thought it was gonna be a good season and we'd challenge for promotion, but yeah, it would mean a lot, and I think for the club as well, it's really on the up, and it's something that, like I say, will hopefully live long in the history books.
Yeah. And you mentioned then that you were confident of having a good season, but what was the moment where the wins kept coming and you sort of felt like this is something special we're doing? Because to me, it reminds me of when Jamie Vardy was after his goal scoring run. I feel like that momentum helped carry Leicester through. Do you sort of feel the same, that with that win, it just gives you that extra incentive to keep that record going?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it was an interesting one because I came in the summer with, I think it was 4 or 5 others that had dropped down a couple of leagues to join Farnham, and we were no good in pre-season. We had, I think we lost the first 2, and then we drew 1, lost another. I think we only won 1 game in pre-season. So it was obviously a very, very new team. Not a lot of us had played together, and we sort of ticked off the first one. And then they sort of kept coming thick and fast and started gelling, obviously, as a team on the pitch and off the pitch as well. And, once you've even, 5-6 wins in a row in the league, you're just going into every game thinking, yeah, we've got enough here. You're not sort of expecting to win, but you're not really worried about losing. It just, wins breed confidence, don't they? And we'd just go into every game just feeling, like we had enough to win the game. So it's a great feeling, and I've been in losing sides before, and this is the feeling you play for.
Yeah, and I know you probably haven't talked a lot about losing this season, but what's the moment you thought, oh no, it's slipping away here, and then you've obviously gone and got the win?
We played Sandhurst away, and it was a Tuesday night. Pouring with rain. They've got a new Astro. It's supposed to be sort of state of the art. It's like the newest technology. I think it was flown in from Sweden. And so instead of the rubber bits now, they're using, it's like a granulated, it almost looks like sand, but it rained the whole day. It rained for the whole 90 minutes, and the pitch was honestly like almost unplayable. So you never hear that as well with an Astro. They obviously take rain really well. But the ball was, you pass the ball, there'd be just a spiral of water coming off the ball every step you took, it was like a puddle. We're 2-0 up at half time, fairly comfortable. Straight after the restart, they've just nicked one on the break, and it was 2-2. And then they were sort of looking like they're more likely to score for probably half an hour. And yeah, we broke down the right. I think it was probably 3 or 4 minutes to go. Cut back and we put one in and held on for 3-2. And even last week we were 2-0 up again against Spelthorne, and they brought it back to 2-2. Similar story really, both on the break, and then tucked away a penalty. But that wasn't for me, that game last week, we were never going to lose, and that's probably because of the run we've been on. But yeah, I would definitely say the Sandhurst game, they're one of the best teams we've come up against, and that definitely could have gone either way.
And we've seen it, Harry, haven't we? Like with Man United in the 90s, Bayern Munich recently, nobody really likes the team that wins all the time. Have you noticed your games getting harder because teams are desperate to end your run? Yeah,
and I think obviously with all the the social media coverage that we have obviously at Farnham with the daily vlogs, it's a great media team there as well, a great photographer. I just think every team will come, especially at home when they come to our place, that they're there to play the games of their life. And mainly a lot of the games we've had sort of go the same way, especially at home. It's for up to the half, and then maybe 10 minutes after half time, it's like just sort of non-stop pressing. Teams will basically sit on the halfway line. As soon as we come over the halfway line, it's like just pressing, everyone's in your face. And then after the hour mark, it usually drops off. And we've scored a lot of late goals this season. But yeah, there's definitely a target on our back. But I think we can all handle that.
It was Farnham Town and PSV Eindhoven who were sort of the teams who'd win every game. How surreal was that to sort of almost be competing with like a giant for this unique record?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they're in, the league there is league in Europe, but I think someone at the club put a quote out, I think when we won it, and it was like, we're the best team in Europe or something. But obviously it's not the case. We're the best record in Europe, but yeah, to be up there in that conversation, I mean, it is surreal. And since I've kind of dropped down into playing part time, you kind of think the sort of the lights and the camera would come off you a bit, but it's been right the opposite.
Yeah, and I've read that Farnham Town finished it last season, but I know that the director there now is entrepreneur Harry Hugo. You said you were confident of having a good season, but where you are first, is that where people expected? Sort of the people looking from the outside in. Is that where you were expected to be?
Yeah, definitely. I think the management team as well came in. I think it was sort of halfway through last season, and they had a good end to the season. But obviously, it wasn't their kind of squad and the players that they wanted. Having said that, a lot of them have stayed on, and they're here this season. And the boys that have obviously been at Farnham for years have all done really well. They've just added to the team with, in a few positions. But yeah, it was basically promotion at all costs. Harry's doing everything the right way. Obviously on the pitch and off the pitch. It's no secret that he's putting a lot of money into it. I think for the league, a lot of the players are paid well. But I've said it before, Al, it doesn't always work like that, and I'm sure you've seen it as well. There's teams every year that will have a go and kind of throw the kitchen sink at it money wise. But I just think with what Harry's done and kind of his vision, aligned with the manager and the assistant manager and kind of their man management and obviously the way they want to play, it's just really fallen into place.
And I think, in the last month, we've seen all the FA Cup action and, there are giant killings. So I guess, as we said, teams are wanting to beat you. Do you think that going into the final few months of the season, that pressure is still going to continue to grow?
Yeah, definitely. I think we all, the manager says it every week. Let's get the league sort of wrapped up as soon as possible, and then see where the winning run takes us. But as the longer it goes, obviously, the more I think teams will want to come and try and nick a draw, or obviously try and nick a win, just take points off us at any cost. But yeah, you know as well as I do, it's a game of football. Things can happen. We've had games where we're down to 10, level in the game. We played Guildford the other week, and I think we were 1-0 up and had a red card after about half an hour. So we played an hour with 10 men, and that was awful conditions as well, but came out of it and won 3-1. But yeah, of course, if we keep winning, teams will obviously even want to win even more.
But you've also got a plus 72 goal difference at the moment. That must be great to attack, with such verve, to know that you're likely going to score so often.
Yeah, and I think obviously we're scoring a lot of goals, but that also comes down to, I think, how tight we've kept it at the back. I don't think we conceded a goal for the first 8 games, which is in itself, is unbelievable. But yeah, we create so many chances, and the goal difference is, that's unheard of. But it could be more. But that's the truth. It could be more goals. We get a lot of chances every game. We've got great sort of players going forward. And 72. Everyone's like it's incredible. But if you've played every game, you're kind of like, it could be closer to 100, honestly.
You're in the 90th, but you actually get over 1,000 fans each week.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think that was for the owner. It was one of the draws of the club because it's a town centre club. The ground is just off the high street, so people are they can just walk in. You're not sort of going out your way to get to the ground. But I think attendances have nearly doubled from last season, and of course that comes down to winning games. But it's the whole experience that they've put together. It's obviously good football. We're winning games, but I think the match day experience is brilliant. I haven't managed to kind of experience it yet because I've been playing, but the food options they've got, obviously a club shop, the new stand, they've got Brewdog, all the Brewdog beers in. So it's a great place to be, I think, on a Saturday in Farnham.
Yeah. And just finally, Harry, I know that you've played at different levels. I know you've also played abroad. Sort of what is the life of a semi-pro footballer in terms of what does your week look like, and how often will you train, how you juggle your work, and what's that like been for you as an experience?
So yeah, it's definitely different. I think when we last spoke, when I was out in Austria, I hadn't worked sort of a normal job, sort of a day in my life. So it was definitely different. So I'm in recruitment now. I've been doing that for 18 months or so, which was definitely new for me, but just really, really enjoying it. I work for Catch, who actually sponsor Farnham. So they're based in Farnham as well. So a lot of the directors come down to every home game. A lot of the boys in the office as well come down. So they're almost part of the club as well. And like I say, it was new for me, obviously working an office job, but thoroughly enjoying it. And recruitment is, it's talking to people all day, which I can do. So it was a bit of a I guess an adjustment where for most of my life my sole focus has just been on training and resting and playing. It's different, and you definitely don't have as much time to kind of recover and things like that. So we played Kingstonian last night, so we a lot of the boys work in an office as well. You do your 9 to 5 and then down to the ground for 6:30 to play 90 minutes in the pouring rain. And I just think, today is it takes a toll on me, I think, the next day, because I can never sleep after a game, especially Tuesday nights. I'm not sleeping till sort of 2-3 in the morning. So then to get up at obviously 7 o'clock for work the next day can be a bit of a struggle. In terms of training, though, we don't train often. So if we have a Tuesday game, we won't train. But if we don't have a midweek game, we'll train on a Thursday for an hour and a half. But we did a lot sort of in pre-season. It would be 3 days a week, 3 evenings a week training. And then where kind of the season's got up and running, he doesn't sort of have us in. I think a lot of us will just look after ourselves. You know, you're expected to kind of keep ticking over and get in the gym, and you know, we have to send our times in for doing 5Ks and things like that. But it kind of drilled it into us, obviously in pre-season, the way we want to play and what's kind of expected. And I know it's the 9th tier, but it shows with the players that we've got. You know, we score a lot of goals late because we all look after ourselves. We're one of the fittest, if not the fittest team, I'd say, in the league, even though we probably train the least out of everyone.
Well, yeah, best of luck for Saturday. Really hope that Farnham Town can clinch this record, because it's just a phenomenal run.
I know, yeah, so do I.